By the end of this video, you're going to know the 5 most common career paths for Big 4 consultants. As a bonus, I'm going to share examples of people who took the path and how they got there. The Big 4 represents the 4 largest professional services companies in the world across the fields of consulting, advisory, and auditing. Currently, the Big 4 is made up of Deloitte, KPMG, EY, and PwC. Getting into a Big 4 already changes your career as well as your life, given the benefits of working at a Big 4. So what do people actually end up doing next if they're willing to leave a Big 4? After spending over 80 hours looking at over 20,000 LinkedIn profiles and public data, here's what I found to be the 5 most common career paths when it comes to exit opportunities for former Big 4 consultants. At number 5 is product management. While the title might be different from company to company, such as the VP of product to product manager to product marketing manager, the main responsibility is to manage the product. So you think of them as a product manager. A product manager is responsible for the strategy, development, and the success of a product throughout its life cycle. And there's a lot of reasons why product management is a compelling exit opportunity for Big 4 consultants. The first is the strategic focus. Product management roles often involve setting the strategic direction for a product or entire product line. Consultants from the Big 4 build up experience working on strategy projects. As a result, many companies, for example, Apple, feel safe hiring former consultants from the Big 4 to set strategy for their product lines. Because working in consulting means that you have a deep understanding of how to think about market dynamics, competitive positioning, and customer needs. The second reason why Big 4 consultants find this role attractive is the cross-functionality of the PM role. In addition to strategic thinking, Big 4 consultants develop a broad set of skills during their time in consulting, including project management, data analytics, stakeholder management, and creative problem solving. These skills are highly transferable because as a product manager, you have to work across different functions. For example, if you become a product manager at Instagram, you have to work across different teams, including engineering, design, marketing, and sales. Finally, a lot of Big 4 consultants are attracted to the role because of the customer-centric approach. Big 4 consultants often work closely with clients to understand their needs and deliver solutions to address their challenges. Similarly, product managers do the same thing because they have to have a deep understanding of what the customer needs, what the market trends are. As a consultant, you're already trained on how to have a customer-centric mindset. So by the time you step into the product management role, you already have a leg up on other candidates who apply for the role, and likely you enjoy the role if you're applying for it. In fact, one of our My Consulting Offer alumni, Alexandria, who was a former Deloitte consultant, took this path to becoming a product manager.
Very, very grateful for the entire experience, for all the case coaching sessions with Davis, Marcus, and Seamus, getting to know you all, for the relationships I built, for improving in my casing skills, and then the way that it's just helped me think about things in a more structured way as I enter my new job at Deloitte. And I'm really excited for this next season.
After leaving Deloitte, Alexandra went on to become a product manager for Instagram. Moving on to number 4, we have startups and entrepreneurship. For many, after working at a large company like a Big 4, they want to change. For some, it's a change of pace. They want to move faster. They want to change of culture. They want to feel as though it's not hierarchical. Or maybe they want to take on more responsibilities, but that's not given because there's such a hierarchy at a big company. Or maybe they want a potential big payday if a company IPOs or is sold to another company. So for many of these reasons, a lot of people, especially Big 4 consultants, end up founding their own companies or joining an early stage startup. For example, after leaving KPMG, Scott Fuqua founded Atlassian, which later went to have an IPO and an valuation of more than $4 billion. At number 3, we have consulting. This is actually a very logical exit opportunity because you're just transitioning from one consulting role to another. But when you're making that transition, why transition at all? For some, it might be a bigger opportunity. For example, you might be a Big 4 consultant and then get an opportunity to work at another consulting firm, for example, at McKinsey, Bain, and BCG at a higher level. While other people might opt for another consulting role, either within a particular consulting firm or within an internal department within a company, also known as corporate strategy. And there's a reason why this is at number 3. It's because it's a pretty logical exit opportunity, especially if you're already doing consulting. So why do people leave consulting to do more consulting? What do they actually do? Well, there's a couple common ones. First off, some people become independent consultants. They end up starting their own consulting company. Or if they choose to work for another consulting company, they might, for example, decide that they develop a skill and they want to specialize in it. For example, you might be a Big 4 consultant who specializes in tech, and then McKinsey gives you an offer to lead one of their tech teams. So you might want to jump that chance because it's a bigger opportunity. Or you might realize that you love consulting, but you don't want to take on multiple different clients over time, and you just want to focus on one client, and you want to get that project further along. So you might, for example, take on an internal strategy role. For example, companies like Google will hire internal consultants to work on their teams and to work on their projects. And so that might be another opportunity for you to continue working in consulting without having to work at a Big 4. Becoming an internal consultant is actually the most common path here. For example, you can look at one of our program alumni, Minku, who started his career as a PwC strategy and consultant, and he worked on a lot of projects that involved financial services. As a result, he developed expertise as well as a passion for it. Now he works as an internal consultant at a financial services firm.
I met Davis through Reddit, actually. And when I was trying to search for more different resources online to learn more about consulting and try to expand my knowledge in that field, I was able to land an offer at Strategy and going into the Deal Strategy Group this coming year. And I'm really happy about that.
The second most common exit opportunity is to join a strategic operations role. This role is very common for people who want to continue to use their consulting skill set, that is work on the strategy, but they want to take it one step further, which is they don't want to stop with just the strategy, but they want to be able to actually implement the strategy. So when we're in consulting, a lot of times we're just giving out recommendations and working with the client on the strategy, but it could be months to years before we can actually see the results of the implementation. And for a lot of consultants, they actually want to get their hands dirty and actually be able to see their plan come to fruition. And this is where strategic operations comes in. A strategic operations role involves working at the intersection of strategic planning, but also day-to-day operational execution. In short, what you do is you take a strategy and you build a plan to actually make it happen. A lot of Big Four alumni find this appealing because it was something that was lacking when they were a consultant. They would work with a client to build a strategy, but oftentimes they didn't get to see the end result of their strategy. An example of someone who successfully transitioned from a Big Four role to a strategic operations role would be John Epstein. After completing the My Consulting Offer program, John actually started his career at Deloitte. And like many other consultants, John wanted to know what the operations was like.
So my results for working with Davis and his team were like incredible. I came out of it improving my resume like tenfold, being able to be a significantly better caser than I went into the process being.
John is now a strategy and operations director for a consumer services company. So number one on our list and the most common exit opportunity for Big Four consultants is finance. Here, I'm bucketing finance to include investment banking, private equity, venture capital, and corporate finance. If any of these terms are new to you, I actually have resources that will go into more detail about what these are. So if you're curious about any of these career paths, I'll link to it in the description below. As a Big Four consultant, you work a lot with financial statements as well as financial modeling. As a result, you build up the skill set. So it's no surprise that at the time of this recording, finance is the most common exit opportunity for Big Four consultants. An example of someone who went down this path is Athena Sheng, who after completing the My Consulting Offer program, started her career at EY as a consultant.
I think it was definitely worth it. So in the process, I feel like I learned so much more than the 4 years I've gone through. Like it really challenged me to think logically and expanded my perspective. I really feel like I've become smarter after going through this process. In the end, I felt like it was a very rewarding process and I learned so much and I really enjoyed working with Davis.
She's now a vice president at a private equity firm. So that completes our list of the 5 most common exit opportunities for Big Four consultants, including those who took the path. I hope these stories really sparked an inspiration in you and what you could be doing after working at a Big Four. And if you aren't currently working at a Big Four, but want to work at a Big Four, I'd like to send you some free resources to help you land your offer. If you comment below the name of the firm that you're applying to, I'll actually share some resources of how to land your interviews, as well as how to prepare for your interviews. For example, if you put PwC, I'll send you some resources on how to land an offer at PwC. And if you're 100% serious about pursuing a consulting career at a Big Four that's Deloitte, PwC, EY, KPMG, or another amazing firm, I'd love to help you. Our team of former recruiters and interviewers have created a free training where we share you the secrets of how to get your interviews as well as how to pass them and ultimately land your dream consulting job, regardless of your background. This training is completely free, and all you have to do to access it is click the link below, and you'll be one step closer to your dream consulting offer. But you don't take my word for it. Actually, hear from John. John was the one who went from Deloitte to the strategic operations role that I mentioned earlier. When he was applying, John actually started late and had no prior case experience, so he was worried about being able to do well in his case interviews. But despite having very little experience with case interviews and starting late, he ended up landing his offer at Deloitte. I'll actually share his full video above my head so he can share with you exactly how he did that. All right, I'll see you in the next video.